Hey everyone, my name's Chad. Das Cayman Garage here. We've got a G97 01 Porsche 6-speed manual transmission out of a 2008 Carrera S here. I'm going to show you how to install the shift forks and the shift fork shafts back into the transmission itself. I had to get some checking done on this transmission at a local shop, and to do that, I had to remove some of these shift forks here. So the first thing we're going to do is put in the 5/6 shaft, which is this right hole right here. And the way, in case you mix these shafts up, okay, the 5/6 shaft has there's these two threaded holes right here, okay, one right here and one right here. The one with the lower threaded hole is the 5/6 shaft. So we're going to take this. Actually, sorry about that. First thing we're going to do is take our shift fork. The 5/6 looks like this, and the 3/4 looks like this. There's kind of like a part missing over here, in case you get it a little bit confused. So the 3/4 goes into your synchro right here. That just stays right like that. And then your 5/6 goes right here. You're going to see the orientation of this. There's a flat part right here, a flat part right here. This is on the bottom, that's on the top. Okay. Now we're going to take our 5/6 shaft, and these are your detents. So when you actually go to select gear, there's this little ball bearing that goes into these little detents right here. We're going to slide this down, and this is going to go, set it there for a second. And then this is kind of like your little, so when you go to shift, this little like fork or these little teeth here, this is what actually moves the shaft up and down to move the synchro. So we're going to go slide this up here, put this down. Then what I want to do is line up the threaded hole. Let's see what we got here. Here we go. There's the threaded hole right there. We're going to take some Loctite 242. We're going to apply it on this fastener, just a little bit. Okay, just a little dab. Great. And we're going to go thread this into the hole. Okay. Let's see what we got here. All right. Starting to thread in. I'm just going to start this with my ratchet. Okay. And then this gets torqued down to 11.8 foot-pounds. In inch-pounds, that's like 141. You take 11.8 times 12. So we're going to do this until we hear a click. All right, that's in. Fantastic. I'm actually going to keep this tooth right here off to the side. Next thing we're going to do is slide our 3/4 shaft through the shift fork. We're going to grab our little selector right here, put him inside. And this goes into this bearing down there. Slides right in, just like that. Okay, and now once again, we're going to take our fastener here, add a little bit of blue Loctite to it. Great. Pull this shaft up. Go ahead and thread this in. Okay. I'm going to start it with my ratchet. Okay. I'm going to finish this off with my torque wrench. Okay, done. At this point, what you're going to do is take some paint marker and mark that right there, and mark this right here with the bolt and the shift fork itself. At this point as well, what we're going to do is we're going to take our, these are called like spring pins, and we're actually going to go hammer these into, so you have this hole right here, okay? Come around, and we're going to go put this this pin through this shaft right here, but through this. And so right now I'm going to take a punch and hammer this in, and we'll be right back.
All right, so to help get you started on these pins here, what I recommend doing is taking this selector, lining it up as best you can with this hole, okay? Taking a Sharpie and pretty much marking the bottom right here with the shaft, bottom with the shaft, okay? You can put a little line there for your height. At this point, what you're gonna do is take your pin and you're gonna start down here and just, once that pin started, make sure it's seated, okay? Now you're gonna bring this up and you're gonna align your marks, and then that pin will find its way home if you get it generally in the right direction. Once you hear the pitch change, that means you've seated all the way down. Take a paint marker, mark that. Take a paint marker on here, mark that, and you're good to go. Okay, so we're gonna go clean the mating surface of the transmission here with just some brake clean and a rag. We're also gonna do it on this surface right here. Clean all the way around, make sure everything is very nice, clean, dry, no oil. So at this point, we're gonna go and add the Loctite. And the Loctite that we're gonna use on this mating surface is Loctite 574. I have linked this in the description of the video. If you want to buy it through me, great. If not, no worries at all. One thing to also keep in mind is this bell housing here. So we got to put this on. You're going to notice it's kind of like half quarter pie right here. That's to correspond with this plastic piece. So this plastic piece can spin around, and ask me how I know. I already kind of dented that guy in, but it needs to go over here, so that when you go to drop this down, it gets recessed into this area right here. This is designed for that plastic piece. All right, so we're using Loctite 574 on this flange here. And God, I hope I have enough. Okay. You want to, I'm probably applying a 1/8 of an inch bead, correct? And we're gonna go on the inside of the bolt holes. Oh, this is gonna be difficult with one person or no applicator gun, but we're gonna do our best. Cool. Inside the bolt hole. Inside the bolt hole, middle of the road, 4. All this. middle of this, sorry, like inside of this guide pin right here. Okay. Back to the middle of the flange. Inside the bolt hole. Ay, ay, ay. Okay. Inside the bolt hole. And now what I'm actually going to do is go around these bolt holes as well, just to get a second line of detent here. Even though technically you don't need it, but just for good measure. Okay. All right, so our 574 sealant is on there. One thing I'm going to show you, a nice little trick. So you're going to have this snap ring plier here. What I recommend you do, okay, is you get this little. So here's your snap ring plier, or your snap ring, and this is going to go onto this bearing right here, this bearing channel right in here, okay? This channel right here. So what I recommend you do is get your snap ring pliers, put it on the snap ring right here, okay? Squeeze as tight as you can go, and go ahead and put a zip tie on your snap rings. That way, it holds it in place. At this point, you can lift this up, okay? And we're gonna go steady. Drop this down. There we go, okay. So now, she's in, okay? I'm gonna go and take a bolt right here and just kind of get it a little bit loose. Not too tight. I'll put one over here. Great. And then I'll put one right here. Okay. Great. Okay, at this point, you come up here, our snap ring isn't ready to be received by that groove in there. So what I recommend you do, you take a piece of wood right here, lean the transmission back, and your main shaft is under here. You're not gonna be able to see it. Take maybe a 1 inch thick piece of wood, rest it on there. At this point, you press down with your hands. That pushes this shaft up a little bit, okay? You can now release. And this snap ring is now engaged with this bearing. Tilt the transmission back, pull this away, done. And now all of these bolts are gonna be torqued down to 22 foot-pounds, and you're gonna apply Loctite, if you want, either 242 to that, but yeah, 22 foot-pounds, and we're gonna go in like a star pattern around the other flange. All right, so I got my torque wrench here set to 22 foot-pounds, and all we're gonna do is walk around this transmission. Jesus. Okay, so that's one over here. What's up here? We're just gonna go in a star pattern all the way around. If we can even get access to these bolts. Okay. Like I said, work around and 22 foot-pounds. This is a 19 millimeter Allen. This is gonna go right here. What you're gonna have to do is clean up the mating surfaces. Make sure you got all that old gasket material off. Nice and clean. We'll do it on this guy as well. Okay. Great. And then you're gonna have to also apply 574 to this mating surface right here. Okay. Amazing. And the Porsche manual did say a little bit of 242 on these inside threads here. So I'm just gonna do a little dab, just a tiny little dab. All right, that's all I'm gonna do. Now I'm gonna lock it. Okay. Just going to put it in reverse first to catch the first threads. Now we are seating this down, and this gets torqued to 13 foot-pounds. So I'm going to go get my torque wrench. Put it down to 13. Get my adapter. And that's it. It's a very little amount of torque on that end cap. The next thing we're going to do is install these ball bearings. I go into that hole. That's what goes into that shaft detent. If you look over here, I'm going to go show you on camera here. Sleeve, spring, in. We're going to get a little, tiny little dab of 574. Okay, maybe a little bit more. Actually, gonna go and clean this surface off. So tap right here. Okay. Now we're going to go insert this cap into here. And it'll squeeze out. And this gets tightened to 19 foot-pounds. So we'll get our torque wrench out. Okay. Okay. And you're going to repeat for the other side right here. Again, you're going to go and take your ball bearing, it's clean, push him inside, and take your spring, put it down the sleeve, sleeve, inside the hole. A little bit of brake clean. Clean the surface. Okay. Now we're going to take some Loctite 574. You know what? I'll just apply it to the surface right here. Okay. Take your cap and screw it in. Okay, perfect. Torque wrench to 19 foot-pounds. Okay, and you're done. All right, so now we're gonna put the fill and drain plugs back in the transmission. Two of these require washers. These are actually the same washer used on the oil drain plug of your engine, so will help you save some money. The one with no washer goes right above near the drive shaft. This will always be dry, essentially. So we'll start that with our fingers. All right, we're gonna add a washer right here, okay, to the plug, put it in, finger tight, another washer. This is at the bottom of the transmission, okay. I'll put this right here. And these all get torqued down to 30 foot-pounds. $30. $30. And $30. Okay. Okay, now we're going to put the shift selector cover onto the transmission. At this point, we will have cleaned up this machine face on the transmission bell housing, as well as the machine face on the shift selector housing itself. I used some brake cleaners, some plastic chisels, and some rags, etc. We're now going to apply Loctite 574 to the mating. Oh, also before you do this, just do a dry fit. These all should be up in the up position. And then right now I am going to actually just apply the 574 on here. Inside the bolt hole. Inside the dowel pin. Middle of the flange. Woo. We're actually also going to make a loop around the bolt holes. Okay. I'll tell you why in a second. loop around the dowel pin. Loop around the bolt hole. All right, so these bottom bolts right here, these are through holes. These are not blind tap holes. So oil can get into the threads of your bolts and it can leak out of the transmission. So that's why we're gonna go around these holes here. Next thing I'm gonna do, put this down. I'm gonna get my impact ready on a low torque just to kind of hold one of the bolts in place. Okay, we're also going to use Loctite 638, which is an oiler resistant Loctite that's good up to, I think it's 140 Celsius. So get this thing ready. We'll do a little dab on this bolt thread here. There you go. All right, now we're gonna pick this up. You have a alignment pin right there, alignment pin right there. Let's go nice and slow. All right, now that that's right there, I'm gonna go and very gently do a star pattern. Loctite 638. Flip this up. Another Loctite 638. This is going to ensure that even our threads are being sealed on the transmission. Okay. Loctite 638. Okay, we'll go up here. Okay. Another Loctite 638. We'll go right here. And our last bolt, Loctite 638. Now we're going to follow this up with 19 foot-pounds of torque for all of these bolts here. So torque all these down to, sorry, that's going to be 20 foot-pounds, I apologize. And you're all done.